Hey, what's up, everyone? Tonight I'm bringing you 4 creepy Reddit threads that honestly kept me up. Subscribe for more, and let's get started. My yoga instructor keeps describing my dreams from the night before, word for word. I'm 26, work as a marketing coordinator at a tech startup, and live alone. The job is stressful, long hours, constant deadlines. 3 months ago, I started evening yoga to decompress. The studio is 6 blocks away, all candles and meditation music. The instructor, Diane, is soft-spoken, talks about chakras. It was helping. About a month in, Diane did a beach visualization during final relaxation. Sunset, warm sand, someone you love in the waves. I dreamed that exact scene the night before, my younger sister playing in the water. Coincidence, I figured. Then it kept happening. She'd mention work anxiety after my presentation nightmares. She'd talk about disappointing people after I dreamed about failing my team. I thought I was projecting, finding patterns that weren't there. Last Tuesday changed everything. During meditation, Diane started describing a specific scene. You're 7 years old in your childhood backyard. The grass needs cutting. You hear the neighbor's sprinkler. There's your dog with the white patch over his left eye, running toward you with a tennis ball. His name is Rusty. You can see the limp in his back leg from when he got hit by that car. I went cold. I dreamed that exact memory the night before. Rusty died when I was 7. The white patch, the limp, the tennis balls, detail for detail. I have never mentioned Rusty to anyone at that studio. My college roommate Maya knows I had a childhood dog, but not his name, not those details. After class, I just sat there. Diane smiled at me. Good class today. You're really opening up. How the hell did she know about Rusty? She couldn't know. There was no way. I started keeping a log in my phone after the Rusty incident. Every morning I'd write down what I dreamed. Then I'd go to class and document what Diane said. The matches kept coming. Thursday night I dreamed about missing a quarterly report deadline, my boss asking why I couldn't handle the workload. Friday's class, Diane talked about releasing the fear of disappointing authority figures and mentioned quarterly cycles of stress. Sunday, I dreamed about my younger sister calling me crying, saying she needed me but I couldn't reach her. Monday's meditation focused on siblings we want to protect but feel helpless to save. I called Maya on Tuesday. We were roommates in college. She's the only person I talk to about personal stuff. Maya, this is going to sound insane. You're having an affair with your yoga instructor? No, she's reading my dreams. Silence. Like, she's psychic? I don't know what she is, but she knows things I've never told anyone. She described my childhood dog down to his limp. She knows about my sister anxiety. She knows about my work nightmares. Maya tried to rationalize it. Cold reading. I'm more expressive than I think. Confirmation bias. But last night destroyed any rational explanation. I dreamed I was standing in a train station I've never been to in real life. Red tile floors, a broken clock stuck at 3:47, a man in a green jacket selling newspapers. In the dream, someone whispered to me, "You're late for something important, but you don't know what." This morning in class, during cool down, Diane started talking. Picture yourself in a transit hub, red floors beneath your feet. You look up and see a clock that's stopped, 3:47. There's a man nearby, green jacket, papers in his hands. You feel this urgency, this sense that you're late for something crucial, but you can't remember what. Word for word, the exact dream. I haven't told anyone about that dream. I hadn't even written it in my log yet. I dreamed it 8 hours before class. I looked at Diane. She was smiling with her eyes closed, hands in prayer position. "Let that anxiety go," she said softly. "I can't go back there. But I also can't stop thinking about it. How is she doing this?" The documentation was growing. So was the fear. She had to ask directly. I confronted Diane after Thursday's class. Waited until everyone else left. "How do you know what I dream?" She looked genuinely confused. "You told me, honey, during our sessions." "What sessions?" "Our private one-on-ones. We've had 6 so far. You booked the first one back in February. Said you wanted to go deeper with your practice." Ice spread through my chest. "I have never booked a private session with you." Diane's smile faltered. "Of course you have. You come Tuesday and Friday mornings, 6 a.m. We talk for an hour. You've shared about Rusty, your sister, your work stress, that train station dream." I pulled out my phone right there, opened my calendar. Nothing. Checked my bank statements going back months. No charges beyond my regular class fee. There's nothing here. No appointments, no payments. You pay cash, Diane said softly. She walked to the front desk, pulled out a leather appointment book, flipped through pages, turned it toward me. My name in her handwriting. 6 dates. February 14th, February 18th, March 1st, March 5th, March 15th, March 19th. All Tuesdays and Fridays, all marked 6 a.m. I have zero memory of any of those mornings. This isn't possible, I whispered. Diane touched my arm. Are you feeling all right? You seem disoriented. This happened last week too. You didn't remember our Friday session until you showed up. I left without answering. What the hell is happening to me? Where do I go on those mornings? What am I telling her? 6 mornings. 6 hours of her life she couldn't account for. The appointments were real. The memory wasn't. This is absolutely terrifying. Have you checked for carbon monoxide in your apartment? Sometimes CO poisoning causes memory gaps and hallucinations. This sounds like something out of a horror movie. Have you tried staying at Maya's place or your sister's to see if it still happens when you're not near the studio? The camera would tell her what her mind couldn't. She bought a camera the next day. I set up a camera and found out what I do at 2 a.m. I set up a motion-activated camera in my bedroom, pointed at the door. Tuesday night, I went to bed at 11 p.m. like normal. At 2:47 a.m., I sat up. Eyes open, but wrong. Blank. I walked to my bedroom door, unlocked it, walked out. I fast-forwarded the hallway footage from my building's security. There I am at 2:51 a.m., walking down 6 flights of stairs in pajamas and bare feet. Out the front door, down the street. I got my neighbor to drive me along the route I walked, 6 blocks straight to the yoga studio. The building has a camera out front. I begged the owner of the coffee shop next door to show me. 2:59 a.m., I arrive at the locked studio door. I stand there. At 3:02 a.m., Diane appears from the other direction. Same blank expression, same pajamas. We stood on either side of that locked glass door for 40 minutes, talking. I can't hear the audio clearly, but I'm gesturing, she's nodding, both of us having a full conversation through a locked door at 3 a.m. while completely unconscious. At 3:43 a.m., we both turn and walk away in opposite directions. I watched this happen. I have no memory of it. 0. Friday, I blocked my bedroom door with my dresser. Woke up Saturday morning in bed, dresser still in place. Checked the camera. 2:47 a.m., I sat up, walked to the door, and picked the lock on my own bedroom doorknob with a bobby pin. Took me 90 seconds. I have never picked a lock in my life. I still went to the studio. Had another conversation with Diane through the glass. What the hell am I telling her? What is she telling me? And why can't either of us remember? I had a friend who started sleepwalking after switching antidepressants. Are you on any new medications? Even birth control or allergy meds can cause weird sleep disturbances. Wait, you're picking locks in your sleep? That's not normal sleepwalking behavior at all. That requires fine motor control and problem solving that shouldn't be possible while unconscious. OP, please get a sleep study done ASAP. This could be a serious neurological condition. Sleepwalking that complex, navigating streets, picking locks, is not normal and needs medical attention. Agreed, but I don't think this is medical. The synchronized timing, the mother connection, the fact that it's always the same location, this feels way more targeted than a sleep disorder. OP needs answers about what happened at that studio in 2006. The security footage destroyed every rational explanation she'd been clinging to. Both women, unconscious, drawn to the same door. The pattern was undeniable. I showed Diane the security footage yesterday. Us at that locked door at 3 a.m., talking while completely unconscious. She broke down crying. I've been finding mud on my feet every Wednesday and Saturday morning for 2 months, she said. I told myself I was gardening at night and forgetting. We're both trapped. Neither of us can control it. My younger sister called while I was at the studio. I mentioned taking yoga classes. At that place on Mercer? Mom went there 20 years ago before she disappeared. Every evening that last winter. I went cold. Diane's face went white. When did she stop going? March 2006. I was 6. She went one night and never came home. Police found her car in the lot the next morning. Diane pulled old membership records from storage, handwritten ledgers from before they went digital. March 2006. My mother's name in careful handwriting. Regular Tuesday and Friday attendance January through early March. Then nothing. Last visit, March 19th, 2006. The exact same dates where my name appears in Diane's appointment book now. 20 years later, same Tuesdays, same Fridays. Diane stared at me, terrified. "Something here is pulling us together," she whispered. "The same way it pulled your mother. I can't stop walking to that door at 3 a.m. every Tuesday and Friday. I'm terrified I'm going to disappear exactly the way she did. 20 years, same studio, same Tuesday and Friday pattern, same March dates." Whatever had taken her mother was following the exact same script with her. The mother connection at the end gave me absolute chills. Please update when you find out more about what happened to her in 2006. On to the next one. I inherited my grandfather's World War II letters. Someone who died in 1946 just wrote to me. I'm a university archivist. 3 months ago, my grandfather died at 96. Last week, my mother sent his storage boxes, 12 crates of wartime letters and field journals. She'd been putting it off. I've been cataloging them in my apartment every evening. Standard procedure. Sort by date, cross-reference names. Most was routine, supply requests, censored reports. Then I found the references to the witness. His name was Evan. Multiple soldiers mention him across different fronts. Normandy, Ardennes, Austria. The dates don't work. Letters from June 1944 place him at Utah Beach. Another, same month, puts him 300 miles east in Poland. Impossible. I found a post-war letter my grandfather wrote in 1982, unsent. "You're still watching, Evan, aren't you? I kept my end. 40 years now." Yesterday I found an envelope, postmarked 2 weeks ago, addressed to me by name. My grandfather died 3 months ago. Inside, a page mentioning things only my family would know. The scar on my left hand from childhood. My nickname that only my grandfather used. Signed, Evan. The last line. "Your grandfather kept his promise for 40 years. Now it's your turn." I don't know what he promised. The postmark was real. It couldn't be real. I spent the first hour trying to convince myself this was David. My colleague at the archives knows about the collection, knows I've been cataloging alone every night. This would be exactly his sense of humor. But the scar. I got it when I was 7, falling through ice on a pond behind my grandfather's house. There are no photographs of that day. My mother was the only other person there, and she's never spoken about it since. The nickname, Keeper, he started calling me that when I was 6, said I'd grow up protecting stories. No one else ever used it. I called my mother last night, asked if grandfather ever mentioned anyone named Evan during the war. The line went quiet. When she spoke again, her voice was wrong. "Where did you hear that name?" Tight, frightened. "Mom, who is Evan?" "Don't." She was breathing differently. "Don't ask about him. Your grandfather made me promise before he died. We don't talk about the war. We don't talk about Evan." She hung up. I've been going through the letters systematically since then, cross-referencing dates, locations, unit designations. June 12, 1944. Private Jensen writes from Normandy about a man who appeared during artillery fire, guided him to cover. Same date. Corporal Williams writes from a field hospital in Poland about a stranger who warned him before an ambush. Same description, same name. Evan Mueller, Intelligence Corps. 800 miles apart. I found 11 more letters like this. Different authors, different fronts, same impossible timeline. Someone appearing simultaneously across Europe, always during battles, always offering help. My grandfather survived things that killed everyone around him. This isn't a prank. Something made a deal with him, and now it wants me to honor it. But it was. She read like her life depended on it. I've been treating this like any other archive project. 3 days, no sleep. Spreadsheet tracking every mention of Evan Mueller across the collection. Dates, locations, witness accounts. The pattern is clear now. Soldiers from 17 different units mention a man appearing during combat. He never fights, he talks. Private Morrison, December 1944, Ardennes. A stranger appeared in the foxhole during mortar fire, told me to move left 30 seconds before the next shell hit, saved my life, asked only that I remember him. Corporal Hughes, March 1945, Rhine crossing. Intelligence officer found me after the bridge assault, said he could guarantee I'd survive the war. All I had to do was keep something safe for him. I agreed. I'm still here. There are intelligence reports too. Declassified memos from battalion commanders asking about the witness, a figure appearing at crucial battles, always gone before formal identification. Filed under unexplained phenomena, never investigated. My grandfather's service record makes no sense without this context. July 6, 1944, Normandy ambush. 23 men killed. He walked out without a scratch. January 1945, winter patrol through the Hurtgen forest. 15 men froze to death. He survived. The odds don't work, not naturally. I found his private journal from February 1945. One line, underlined twice. Evan found me again. I agreed. God forgive me, I agreed. 40 years. Just 40 years. He made a deal for survival. 40 years of something, and in 1982, that clock ran out. 3 months ago, he died. 2 weeks later, Evan wrote to me, "Whatever my grandfather promised to protect, it's still here, and now Evan wants it back." My grandmother had something similar happen with letters from her father's Navy service. It stopped after she burned them. I'm not saying that's what you should do, but it's an option. I work in a similar field, and I've heard of families finding post-war intelligence documents that were never declassified. If this Evan was part of a black program, there might not be any official record of what they were actually doing. This is genuinely terrifying. Have you tried running the handwriting through analysis to see if the recent letters match any historical samples from World War II archives? I compared them yesterday. The recent letters are written in the same hand as the 1944 correspondence signed E.M. The slant, the capital letters, even the way he crosses his T's, identical. I thought maybe it was a forgery, but the consistency is perfect across 80 years. That shouldn't be possible. The second envelope arrived this morning. He sent a photograph of my apartment building. Another envelope. Same handwriting. No return address. Inside, a photograph. Black and white, dated June 1944 on the back. My grandfather, standing in uniform beside another man. Both soldiers, both young. The second man is smiling. Written on the back, Evan Mueller, Intelligence Corps. I spent 6 hours searching military databases. Evan Mueller, service number 37284651, attached to intelligence operations across Western Europe 1943 to 1945. Declared missing, presumed dead near Salzburg, Austria, May 14, 1946. 80 years ago. The letter with the photograph? I have been patient. The item is still in your bloodline. You have until the autumn equinox to decide. Autumn equinox, September 22nd, 6 weeks from now. A second photograph fell out when I opened the letter. Color this time. Recent. My apartment building. 4th floor. My window is visible. The curtains I hung last month are in the frame. He knows where I live. He's been dead since 1946. I don't know what item he's talking about. I've gone through every box, every letter. There's nothing here except paper and my grandfather's war journals. But he's watching. He knows my window. He's giving me 6 weeks to find whatever my grandfather promised to protect. I'm alone in this apartment, and someone who died 80 years ago just sent me a photograph of my bedroom window. The autumn equinox is in 3 months. That's a very specific occult reference timeline. Please tell me you've at least shown these to the police or a historian. Intelligence operatives from that era sometimes had protocols for long-term asset monitoring. This could be a descendant of Evan using his father's identity. Either way, do not meet anyone claiming to be him. Exactly this. Black Ops families sometimes inherit assignments. If the original Evan is dead, his son or grandson could be finishing the job using the same identity and collected intelligence on OP's family. The answer was in the box itself. I tore apart the storage crate last night. I'd been searching the letters, the journals, every scrap of paper. But the wooden box my mother sent, the original crate my grandfather used for his war archive, felt wrong. The weight didn't match the contents. I pried up the bottom panel with a screwdriver. False bottom. Hidden compartment underneath, lined with oilcloth. Inside, a military compass. Tarnished brass, Wehrmacht markings engraved on the face. Nazi issue. And a note folded beneath it, my grandfather's handwriting, dated March 1985. If you're reading this, he found you. Don't give it to him. He's not Evan anymore. Whatever he promises, whatever he threatens, the compass stays in the family. Destroy it if you must, but never let him take it back. I'm holding it now as I write this. The compass is heavier than any brass instrument should be. The metal is warm against my palm, not from body heat, something else, internal. The needle doesn't point north. It spins slowly, stops facing my bedroom window, spins again, stops. Always the same direction. I don't know what this unlocks. I don't know why a piece of Nazi equipment matters enough for 80 years of watching. I don't know what Evan became after 1946, or what bargain required my grandfather to hide this. But I know I've inherited the chase. Autumn equinox, September 22nd, 6 weeks from today. He knows where I sleep, and he wants his compass back. The fact that he knows your name and address means he's been tracking your family for decades. Your grandfather's death might have triggered some kind of protocol. Be careful who you trust with this. My great-uncle had something similar, a pocket watch from a Russian officer. It passed to my father when he died, and then 3 weeks later, someone showed up claiming ownership. My dad refused. The watch disappeared from a locked safe 2 nights later. Some debts follow bloodlines. Compasses don't point north in his world. On to the next one. I, 28 female, watched my brother overdose over video call and saw something moving in his apartment. Some calls you can never unhear. I work medical records at County General, so I know what a crisis looks like on paper. I live alone in a studio apartment, and my little brother Tyler, 24, is basically the only family I have left since our parents died in a car accident 5 years ago. We talk maybe 3 times a week. Stupid memes mostly, random check-ins about his warehouse job and my hospital drama. We're close. About 6 months ago, Tyler moved into a new place with a roommate he found online. I'd met the guy twice when I helped Tyler move furniture in. Seemed quiet, polite enough, kept to himself. Tyler said they got along fine, barely saw each other with their different work schedules. 2 nights ago, I was still up around 2 a.m. finishing a show when my phone buzzed with a voice message from Tyler. The timestamp said 2:14 a.m. I almost didn't listen. Tyler doesn't drunk dial, doesn't do drugs, works morning shifts at the warehouse. But something made me hit play. It was barely words, slurred, wet sounds, like his mouth wasn't working right. Help. Can't. Then nothing. My stomach dropped straight through the floor. I called him back immediately, straight to voicemail. Called again and again. On the 5th try, the video call connected. He didn't say anything. The camera was at a weird angle, showing half his ceiling, and then it shifted like the phone had fallen, and I saw him. Tyler was on his bedroom floor, on his side, phone in his limp hand. His eyes were half open, pupils blown wide, completely unfocused. His breathing was so shallow I could barely see his chest move. I've processed enough overdose charts to know what I was looking at. I was screaming his name into my phone while my other hand shook so bad I could barely dial 911. I'm rattling off his address to the dispatcher, telling them overdose, probable opioid overdose, patient unresponsive, and I won't hang up. I can't hang up. I need to see him breathing. I'm staring at that screen like if I look away for 1 second, he'll stop. That's when I saw it. Behind his bedroom door, out in the hallway. A shadow moved across the wall. Not a trick of the light, not my imagination. The clear shape of a person. Someone else was in that apartment. They just stood there. 4 minutes feels like forever when you're counting someone else's breaths. The dispatcher keeps asking me questions, and I'm trying to answer, but I can't stop staring at Tyler's chest, waiting to see it rise. 1, 2, 3 seconds between breaths. That's not enough. That's way too long. Ma'am, paramedics are 4 minutes out. Can you see any pill bottles nearby? Any drug paraphernalia visible? I'm scanning the grainy video feed when the shadow moves again. Behind his bedroom door, across the hallway wall. A full silhouette this time. Arms, head, shoulders. A person standing there in the dark, just watching. There's someone else in the apartment. My voice comes out shrill, breaking. Someone's in there with him, and they're not helping. They're just standing there. Ma'am, is this the patient's roommate? I don't know. They're not moving. They're not coming to help. I'm shouting at my screen now, at Tyler lying motionless on that floor, at whoever the hell that is. Help him! Why aren't you helping him? Tyler hasn't moved at all. His eyes are still half open, pupils completely blown, staring at nothing. I'm counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. His chest isn't moving. 5 seconds without a breath. 6, 7. Then finally, a shallow rise, and I'm crying so hard I can barely see the screen. Through Tyler's phone speaker, I hear loud pounding, authoritative knocking. Paramedics, open the door! Nothing. No footsteps running to answer. No movement toward the sound at all. That shadow is still there in the hallway, but it's not moving toward the door. Just standing there, waiting. Someone's inside and they're not opening the door! I'm screaming at the dispatcher now, my voice raw. More pounding, shouting. We're coming in! A loud crash. The sharp sound of wood splintering as they break through. Then voices, heavy footsteps, the image on my screen shaking as people rush through the apartment. I catch the beam of a flashlight sweeping across Tyler's bedroom wall. The video connection stutters. The image breaks apart into pixels. I'm stabbing at my phone screen, trying desperately to clear it. For one frozen second before it dies completely, the picture sharpens, and I see them. 2 paramedics rushing into Tyler's bedroom, dropping to their knees beside his body. And in the background, in that dark hallway, I see that shadow figure moving backward, retreating deeper into the apartment. Then the screen goes black. The silence after was worse than any sound. The call died, and she had nothing but silence. I'm hitting redial. Again. Again. Straight to voicemail. My hands shake so badly I keep dropping my phone. It's still dark. Maybe 3 a.m. I'm pacing my apartment between the bed and window. I try Tyler's roommate. I'd saved his number months ago. Voicemail. I call again. Nothing. Was the shadow real? I saw it. I know I did. But my mind keeps replaying that image. Tyler on the floor, paramedics rushing in, that dark figure retreating. Or did I imagine it? I know what panic does to perception. I process crisis charts every day. Maybe there was no shadow. Maybe it was light and stress and watching my brother die through a phone screen 4 miles away. Hours crawl by. Sky turns gray. Phone in both hands, volume maxed. I've called Tyler 17 times, the roommate 9. At 6:47 a.m., my phone rings. Unknown number. County General Hospital calling for family of Tyler Morrison? He's alive. The rest blurs. Stable. Overdose. Unconscious but improving. ICU. Visiting this afternoon. I'm crying too hard to speak. The paramedics, I manage. Did they find anyone else in the apartment? Pause. I'm sorry, what? There was someone else there. I saw them on the video call. Did they find them? Longer pause. Ma'am, according to EMS report, they only found your brother. He was alone. The floor tilts. This is absolutely horrifying. I can't imagine watching that happen and being unable to physically help. Did the paramedics say anything about the shadow you saw? I have chills reading this. Please tell me you told the police about seeing movement in the background. The fact that someone else was there and didn't help is chilling. Were they still in the apartment when paramedics entered? Yes, they were hiding in the closet. I didn't find this out until hours later at the hospital when police came to take my statement. Apparently, paramedics had to search the apartment after I insisted someone else was there. The truth was worse than she imagined. My brother woke up, and police found someone hiding in his apartment. Tyler woke up this afternoon. First thing I asked when I got to see him was if he remembered the video call. He looked at me like I was speaking another language. He has no memory of sending that voice message, no memory of the video call, no memory of me screaming his name while he was dying on his bedroom floor. Doctors confirmed severe opioid overdose. They said based on the levels in his system and the timeline, there's no way he could have physically operated his phone to send that message. He was already unconscious. Someone else used his phone. Police got involved when I gave my statement about the shadow I saw. They went back to Tyler's apartment and did a thorough search. They found the roommate hiding in a bedroom closet. When they questioned him, his story fell apart immediately. But here's what's making me sick. Tyler doesn't just have gaps in his memory from that night. He has no clear memories of the past 3 weeks. Doctors are saying it's consistent with sustained benzodiazepine exposure combined with other substances. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't Tyler relapsing. Someone was systematically doing this to him for weeks. And whoever sent that voice message knew I'd answer. They wanted me to watch. The police won't tell me much else while the investigation is ongoing, but the detective asked me very specific questions about Tyler's phone habits, our communication patterns, and whether I'd noticed anything off in his recent messages. I keep going back through our texts from the past month, looking for signs I missed. You did everything right by staying on that call. Your quick thinking probably saved his life. This doesn't sit right. Why would someone be there and not call for help themselves? And why ignore the paramedics knocking? Because they're the reason he needed help in the first place. I've seen it before. Abusers will stay at the scene to control the narrative. This is attempted murder. She was right. The roommate was arrested 3 days later, charged with attempted murder. The investigation revealed he'd been systematically drugging Tyler's food for nearly a month. Benzodiazepines mixed with other substances, causing progressive memory loss and disorientation. The levels they found in Tyler's system weren't from a single dose. This was sustained, deliberate poisoning over weeks. The voice message was sent on purpose. Forensic analysis of Tyler's phone showed the roommate had been accessing it for weeks, reading our texts, studying our communication patterns. He knew exactly how close we were. He knew I'd answer that call at 2 a.m. He wanted me to watch my brother die. Tyler is physically recovering, but he's in intensive therapy now. He's dealing with 3 stolen weeks of his life and the violation of being slowly poisoned by someone he lived with, ate meals with, someone he trusted. He can't remember whole conversations, whole days, just gaps where his life used to be. The doctors say some of those memories might never come back. I've been obsessively going through months of Tyler's texts and calls. There are things that weren't quite right, messages that sound slightly off, word choices that don't match how Tyler talks. Times he said he was fine when maybe he wasn't, when maybe those words weren't even his. Cries for help I missed while he was being drugged into compliance. The worst part isn't that I couldn't save him. I did save him. The worst part is being used, being turned into an unwitting audience for attempted murder. All my medical training, all those crisis charts I process every day, and I couldn't stop someone from weaponizing our relationship like that. I couldn't see it happening in real time. I keep asking myself what other signs I missed in those lost weeks, what I should have seen coming, what I'll never forgive myself for not noticing. Former EMT here, we've arrived to situations where someone deliberately caused the emergency. Always report what you saw. That shadow could be critical evidence. When something feels wrong, trust it. On to the next one. My Hinge match, 28 male, ordered my exact drink on our first date. I never mentioned it anywhere. The first sign that something was wrong came with a coffee order. I know this sounds paranoid, but something happened on my first date yesterday and I need perspective. I'm 26F, freelance graphic designer, live alone. Been single about 8 months. My best friend Jenna finally convinced me to try Hinge. I matched with this guy, 28M, let's call him Dave. Normal profile, good conversation. We agreed to meet for coffee yesterday. I was running late. When I walked in, he was already there. He waved me over and said, "I'll grab our drinks. You want your usual?" I laughed, thinking he meant generic coffee. But then I heard him tell the barista, 2 iced vanilla lattes, 1 with oat milk, light ice, extra shot, and add cinnamon. That's my exact order. Down to the cinnamon I always request but never post about. I checked my Hinge profile obsessively last night. Nothing. My Instagram is design work. I can't figure out where he would have seen this. When he sat down, I asked how he knew. He just smiled and said he had a feeling. The rest of the date was nice. He asked about my work, we talked for 2 hours, but I keep circling back to the drink. I texted Jenna and she thought it was sweet, that he's clearly paying attention. But how? Am I overthinking or is this weird? It wouldn't be the last thing he just happened to know. The coffee order should have been a warning. Update. I've been on 2 more dates with Dave since my last post, and I need to talk about what's been happening. Date 2 was Saturday at a park near my apartment. We were talking about pets, and he mentioned loving golden retrievers. His family had one growing up. Then he asked if I'd ever had one. I said yes, when I was a kid. He smiled and said, "What was her name? Biscuit, right?" I stopped walking. My childhood dog was named Biscuit. She was a golden retriever who died when I was 14. I have never posted about her anywhere. My Instagram is strictly my design portfolio. I triple-checked my Hinge profile. There are no photos of Biscuit, no mentions of childhood pets, nothing. I asked how he knew. He laughed and said he could just tell I was the kind of person who'd name a dog something sweet. Said he had a feeling. That same phrase from the coffee order. Yesterday was date 3. We were talking about travel and out of nowhere he said, "Didn't you study abroad in Barcelona junior year? I bet you loved that little cafe near the Gothic Quarter, the one with the blue door." I froze. I did study abroad in Barcelona junior year. And yes, there was a tiny cafe with a blue door I went to every morning near the Gothic Quarter. My favorite spot in the whole city. But I've never mentioned this to Dave. Not the study abroad, not Barcelona, definitely not that specific cafe. The only person I've ever told about that cafe is Jenna. I told her when I was planning the trip sophomore year. I keep trying to rationalize this. Maybe I posted about Barcelona years ago and forgot. Maybe he's just incredibly intuitive? But it doesn't add up. I called Jenna last night and told her everything. The dog name, the Barcelona cafe, all of it. She told me I'm overthinking it. She said he's clearly paying close attention, and that's rare. She actually encouraged me to keep seeing him. Said I have a habit of self-sabotaging when things go well. Maybe she's right, but I don't feel special. I feel watched. She couldn't decide which felt worse, being alone or being known. Date 4 crossed a line she couldn't explain away. I need outside perspective because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Date 4 with Dave was tonight. We met for dinner near my apartment and everything seemed normal until he asked how my therapy was going. I said it was fine, confused since I'd never mentioned therapy. Then he said, "Have you made progress with the Riley stuff? I know that's been weighing on you." I went cold. Riley is my younger sister. I have never mentioned her to Dave. Not her name, not that I have a sister, nothing. And I've definitely never told him I'm in therapy, let alone what I discussed there. The only person who knows I've been working through my relationship with Riley in therapy is Jenna. I made an excuse and left early. At home, I went through everything. My entire Hinge profile, every Instagram post, Facebook, going back years, Twitter, LinkedIn. Nothing. No mentions of therapy, no Riley photos, no Barcelona or Biscuit references. Nothing that could explain this. I texted him asking how he knew about therapy. He said he's just intuitive and we're so connected he can sense these things. The same vague non-answer as always. the coffee order on date 1, my dog's name on date 2, Barcelona on date 3. Now, my private therapy sessions? These aren't guesses. Someone is feeding him this information, or he's accessing it somehow. I don't know which is worse. Am I overreacting? Is there any normal explanation? This isn't romantic. This is surveillance. He either hacked your accounts, or someone close to you is feeding him information. Nobody guesses therapy details. Check who has access to your accounts immediately. Google account activity, logged in devices, app permissions. Someone with your passwords could see everything. OP, please document everything he said. Screenshots, dates, all of it. If he's accessing your accounts without permission, this could be criminal. The comments confirmed what she already knew but couldn't admit. She followed the advice and found the source. Jenna contacted him again after I blocked them both. I followed the comments and checked my Google account activity. There was a logged-in device I didn't recognize. When I dug deeper, I found Jenna's login from 4 months ago, when she helped me recover my account after I forgot my password. I drove to her apartment and confronted her. She broke down immediately. She showed me her phone. Months of screenshots. Messages to Dave with photos of my apartment interior. Transcripts of therapy sessions I'd discussed with her. Voice memos I'd sent her about work stress, forwarded directly to him. She'd exported my entire Google Photos library and sent him childhood pictures. That's how he knew about Biscuit. She had everything. The Barcelona cafe I mentioned once in 2019. My coffee order from the times we'd met up. Details about Riley and our relationship. My favorite song, my work projects, the layout of my apartment. She built him a complete file on me. Her defense? I was giving him the tools to be perfect for you. You're always alone, and I just wanted to help you find love. He seemed so interested, and I thought if I gave him the right information, he could make you happy. She didn't hack me. She didn't need to. She already had access. The violation wasn't someone breaking in. It was someone with a key handing out copies to a stranger. I blocked them both. But I can't stop thinking about what else she saved, what else she shared. This is criminal. Unauthorized access to accounts, sharing private information without consent. Document everything and file a police report. This goes way beyond friendship betrayal. Change every single password. Enable two-factor authentication. Check every app permission, every logged-in device. She treated you like a product to optimize for him. I'm honestly more disturbed by your friend than the guy. He's creepy for going along with it, but she's the one who spent months building him a dossier on you like you're some kind of project. Exactly. He's a stranger being weird, but she's supposed to be someone who protects OP's privacy, not auctions it off to the highest bidder who swipes right. But the betrayal wasn't finished yet. She locked them out of every account. But some violations can't be undone. I spent the next day changing every password. Google, Instagram, Spotify, Amazon, iCloud, everything. I blocked Dave and Jenna on every platform. I called my therapist and transferred to a new provider. I couldn't keep going knowing Jenna had transcribed our sessions and sent them to a stranger. Then I went through the photos Jenna had accessed from my Google Photos. Most were harmless. Childhood pictures, vacation shots from Barcelona, but then I found one from 3 weeks ago. It was a photo of a design mock-up on my laptop, just a work screenshot I'd saved for reference. But in the background, on my entryway table, there was a sticky note, my new door code, the one I'd just changed after getting paranoid about security. Jenna had screenshotted it. She'd saved my new door code. I called a locksmith that afternoon and had everything rekeyed. New locks, new deadbolt, new keys. But standing alone in my apartment that night, I realized the locks were never the real problem. The violation wasn't someone breaking in. It was someone I trusted handing out copies of the keys to a complete stranger. I don't know what else she kept, what else she shared with him, saved for later or sent to others. Those files could be anywhere. I'll never know the full extent of what she gave away. I'm safe now. The locks are changed. The passwords are new, but I can't stop asking myself, what else did my best friend give away? The comments lit up with warnings and validation for what she already knew. Something similar happened to my sister. Her roommate was feeding details to guys on the apps, thinking she was helping her dating life. but really she was setting her up with guys who had an unfair advantage. It's manipulative. And that's the last story for today.